welcome to Big Bore Knife and Gear. Today I want to talk a little bit about some oldies but goodies. Now, these three knives belong to my buddy Rusty. These were his father's. These were passed down to Rusty when his father passed away 36 years ago. So these knives are 36 plus years old. What I find fascinating about them is, well, history. I love knives, I love EDC, I love gear, tools, a lot of stuff. But what really floats my boat, so to speak, is when you get some knives in hand that are old, classic, beautiful design knives, and you get a little bit of back history on them. My favorite part is really not knowing too much about who owned the knife, but just knowing about the knife. And then your mind starts racing. Where's this knife been? Whose hands have it been in? What's it seen? How was it used? And you just start running through all these different scenarios in your mind, and all of a sudden, an hour later, you have your own little mini movie in your mind. At least that's how my mind works. So let's get into this. There's a couple of beautiful Gerbers and a Kershaw here. Let's start with the Kershaw. This is back when Kershaw was all made in Oregon. This is the Kershaw Special Agent. Now in the comments, let me know, guys and gals, if you've ever had any of these, owned any of these, handled any of these, because these are fantastic pieces of history. This is obviously a dagger, boot style knife. Small, compact, made to clip onto your belt, vest, or into your boot. This one's in really, really good condition. Does have all steel handle with a brass guard. Just a fantastic, beautiful design. As you can see here, this one is Kershaw by Kai, Japan. The steel is Japanese. The knife, if you can see it here, way back in the day, Lake Oswego, Oregon. Fantastic shape. This one is actually pretty comfortable in hand. Just great designs. I've never had or handled a special agent. They also make a secret agent back in the day, which was larger. Same design, just larger size. Fantastic knife. Rusty used to carry this outside of high school when he was doing mechanics training in school. This was his everyday carry, normally in his boot, from what he told me. Now let's get into these beautiful Gerbers. Now when I was a little kid, and I say little kid, 12, 13, 14 years old, I actually had both of these knives. The first one I had was this one. This is the Gerber Mark I. Again, Gerber, Portland, Oregon. Another boot style knife. This one's a little bit larger than the Kershaw. This one has seen its fair share of use. Nicks, scratches, tip is gone. I don't know if you guys can see this. Blade's a little bent. He told me he used to just beat the hell out of this thing. Another great classic design. This one fits pretty decent in hand too. Not as comfortable as the Kershaw, but just an overall great shape. Great design, great pattern. Now we're going to get to my personal favorite from back in the day. This big beast is the Gerber Mark II. I owned two of these. Look at that fantastic design. Just an awesome, awesome knife. Let's get a measurement, because if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, these things are like 11 plus inches long. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, almost 12 inches in overall length. So if you're older like me, I grew up in the 80s, and by the mid to late 80s, 85 to 87-ish, the movie market back then was flooded. Damn near every month, a new ninja movie would come out on VHS. Yes, I said it, VHS. And I've probably seen every single movie made in that time frame. So, of course, at 12 or 13 years old, being a boy, once you watched 5 or 6 of those movies, you were automatically now a professional badass ninja. So when I got my first Gerber Mark II, I had saved up a bunch of money from doing yard work and paper routes, and I got an older friend of mine to actually buy one for me, and I just beat the living tar out of it. I'd throw it in the ground, I'd run around like I'm a samurai or a ninja, I'd throw it into trees, I'd chop branches with it, and I had 2 of these, and I broke both of them. And each time, the damn thing broke right about midway up the serrations and the blades would snap in half. The first time it happened, of course, it's a heartbreak. You gotta save up more money and have somebody buy you another knife and keep it hidden from your parents again. Typical boy stuff back in the 80s. But this knife has always been one of my favorites. It's just an absolute beauty. Absolute fantastic design. And it just screams badassery. I mean, look at it. Sorry for the pause, folks. This is how my brain works. I was being flooded with flashbacks and memories of childhood antics and angst and just plain stupidity. Hindsight's 2020, I guess. Anyhow, that's all I have for you today, folks. Just a little blast from the past. 3 very cool knives. Pieces of history here. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, please like, subscribe. And until next time, take care.